and many other things are concerned. And we don't say this without a basis. I first want to spend a little time talking to you about and reminding the people through you about what is it that we want to do for Meghalaya. We are not alien to Meghalaya, we've run successful governments in Meghalaya, we've done much better on every parameter of governance in Meghalaya than anybody else. But just to remind you here that we are envisaging and we are talking about a 5-star Meghalaya. And that 5-star Meghalaya includes 3,000 rupees per month for single mothers. Our press conference was delayed briefly by around 10-15 minutes because there was a power cut. And this erratic power cut has been troubling people in Meghalaya, and the present incumbent government has found no solution to this. So a power cut free Meghalaya, a drug free Meghalaya. One of the biggest problems that is rampant saddles our youth is the rampant use of drugs, and we want a drug free Meghalaya. So 3,000 rupees for every single mother, a drug free Meghalaya, a power cut free Meghalaya. We are talking about jobs. One deserving candidate from each household, we promise to create a job for them. And most of all, we want to talk about a corruption-free Meghalaya. Because the last 5 years of the government in Meghalaya are marked by and saddled with corruption allegations. Rampant corruption allegations in all spheres of governance. It is health, it's education, it's public property, it's construction, it's infrastructure. Corruption is so rampant in Meghalaya that the real beneficiaries are being denied the benefits of what could have been development. And so we are talking about a corruption-free Meghalaya in which our emphasis is on transparency laws, which will hold those in power accountable. So we are going to go into these elections with 5 big promises. Of course, our manifesto, very detailed, talks about what else is it that we want to do. How do we else want to benefit and empower women? How is it that we want to increase the police participation and women participation in the police forces, a corpus for building infrastructure for religious gatherings, and multiple things like that. But the 5 stars of our 5-star campaign and our 5-star promise and a 5-star Meghalaya are, like I told you, 3,000 for every single mother, a power cut Meghalaya, a corruption-free Meghalaya, and most of all, job for every deserving candidate in every household. And that's exactly what the cornerstone of our campaign is. We don't make promises not to keep. And our track record in Meghalaya and other states where we are in government bears testimony to this fact. We promised OPS in Himachal, we did OPS. We promised OPS in Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, we did it there. We promised a 25 lakh insurance, health insurance scheme, we did it in Rajasthan. We talked about an allowance for unemployed youth in Chhattisgarh, we did it there. So the reality is that we deliver on promises that we make, and that has been the hallmark of the Congress party, not just in Meghalaya but state after state where we have been in power. Now I want to take a really quick minute because these are our poll promises. This is what we are promising to the people of Meghalaya. These are not some agenda items on our manifesto. But you would believe, in sharp contrast, when the ruling alliance of Meghalaya goes into elections, you would believe that after 5 years of governance, they will go with a report card. After 5 years of governance, they should go to the people of Meghalaya and say, these are the things we have done, number 1 to number 10. If you think we have done the right things, put us back in office. Or else throw us out. But instead of going with a report card, the ruling alliance, the ruling government, and particularly the BJP, with none other than the president of the party, making torn, false claims and promises and talking about yet another set of jumlas. It is to my greatest horror that the BJP president has told the people of Meghalaya, through all of you esteemed media colleagues, that there will be a special task force under a retired Supreme Court judge to investigate cases of corruption against the NDA ruling alliance. Two of your ministers were sitting on that stage when you made that boisterous claim. But somebody should turn around and ask you, you are a part of that government. You've got blood on your hands. So if there are corruption charges, they actually taint you as much as they taint your allied partners. And if you really need an investigation and probe, you should order one now. Why wait for after the election? So this is the most bizarre claim made by an incumbent government that we will get a task force to investigate the charges of corruption leveled against us. I find it totally bizarre, and which is why I call it a jumla. And amongst many other things, whether it is some stops for women or some stops for education and things like that, I think the BJP's manifesto and the BJP's false promises have been found lacking because you've been in government for 5 years. You should go to the people of Meghalaya and tell them that these are the 5 things I've done. If you agree with us, vote us back in office. Otherwise, deny us the opportunity. I also want to bring to your notice a couple of other things that may sound very small but are extremely empowering as far as the electorate and people are concerned. Free education for every girl child up until class 12. 4 free LPG cylinders every quarter. The fact that we are talking about employment, the fact that we are talking against price rise by talking about LPG cylinders, the fact that we are talking about income inequalities, the fact that we are talking about a safer, cleaner, drug-free Meghalaya shows our commitment to the state. But the BJP's false promises, which really raise questions of their intention and their understanding. If I am in government, I can't go and make a fresh set of promises. I have to first tell the people, these are the promises I made 5 years back, how many of those I have fulfilled, and how many have been left untouched. But I do want to spend a minute talking about a third player in the fray. And you have to understand that what is the third player that Trinamool Congress doing here? It is doing exactly what it did in Goa. Wherever the BJP is in trouble, there are a few parties, and Trinamool seems to be one of them, which comes to do the rescue act. But the reality is that the Trinamool Congress is an outsider in Meghalaya. It doesn't understand the electorate, it doesn't understand the culture, it is as much of an outsider as anybody can be. And so, instead of letting them do the rescue act for the BJP, I'm sure the people of Meghalaya will teach them a lesson. Last but not the least, I want to touch upon a few factors that are very disturbing and that should be brought to the notice of the people. I'm sure this is under consideration already. In India today, there are various parts of this country, and every day, whether it's on social media or maybe some sections of brave media like yourselves, they report on these things. Every day there is an attack against a church. Every day a man is lynched because of the religion he professes. Every day minorities are under target. And why is that so? This brute majoritarian government has put law and order and good governance at complete pay. What explains the fact that on Christmas Day, whether it is Madhya Pradesh ruled by the BJP or whether it is Uttar Pradesh ruled by the BJP, what explains the fact that on Christmas Day, statues of our Lord Jesus Christ are going to be vandalized? What explains the fact that young couples will be beaten up by the goons of Bajrang Dal, supported and under patronage of the BJP in Karnataka? What explains the fact that the government is very sinister and wants Christians out of the tribe lists? What explains the fact that the sixth schedule of our constitution, which guarantees protection to the indigenous tribes of Meghalaya, is under threat? And I think Meghalaya will have to wake up to the consequences of what this can really do. Meghalaya will wake up to the consequences of this imposition of one thought, one culture on the rest of this country. I belong to Uttar Pradesh and you belong to Shillong. But I think both of us are very different, and yet we are very similar. And it is in our difference, it is in our diversity that India prospers and India thrives and India blooms. But to deny us our diversity, to divide us on the basis of how we look, what we wear, who we marry, who we love, what we eat, and who we pray before, or what language do we speak, the BJP has set a very sinister, a very dangerous plot in motion, and that will distort cultures in places like Meghalaya, that will distort the independence of practicing religion and culture in places like Meghalaya, and I think Meghalaya needs to wake up to the reality of something like that happening. I will go back to talking about the big legs of our campaign, because we don't believe in jumlas. When elected, 5 years later, we will go to the people with the report card and tell them this is what we have done, assess us on this, and of the many things, making Meghalaya corruption free. And corruption has been the great Meghalaya loot, if I may call it. From Assembly Dome collapse scam to the 860 crore COVID scam to the 500 crore Buda scam to the 650 crore illegal coal scam to the 149 crore Saubhagya scam to the 50 lakh rice scam to the excise bond cartelization scam to the casino scam to the friends and family of government contract scam and to the police purchase scam. These are 10 big scams, and this government is tainted, it is saddled with charges of corruption, and they have to come out clean. But it will not happen under their watch. The people of this beautiful state of Meghalaya will show them out and eventually vote in a government that really talks about their prosperity, good, clean governance. I'm happy to take some of your questions, please.
A while ago, one of the BJP leaders, he had alleged that every vote in Congress is a vote wasted. How do you react to that?
Every vote in this country is precious. And to say that a single vote is wasted is actually insulting the people who cast that vote. And the beauty of our democracy is that the power of the vote remains the same. And every single person, because of the universal adult franchise, enjoys only one vote. The poorest man in Meghalaya has one vote as compared to the richest Indian or the man sitting at the highest seat of power. And that is the beauty of our democracy. So to say that your vote is being wasted because it is going to be cast against you is actually defiling our beautiful democracy, is insulting the people who want you out, is insulting the innate wisdom of the Indian voters. But the BJP is known to have done that repeatedly, and I'm not surprised at all.
Can you tell us about the so-called transparency law which you are talking about?
We'll be putting it in the public domain soon, and you will get to know. But given the number of scams that have erupted and that have saddled the 5-year tenure of this present government, of which the BJP is a part, and a very anchor part of it, because nothing explains to me how MLAs were making that switch, how the rampant horse trading was happening without the BJP using its money, muscle, and of course agency power. This government is saddled with corruption charges, and we will bring in a transparency law which will make those in public offices accountable, which will bring transparency to the bidding processes, transparency to the procurement processes, transparency to how a government or an executive should react when charges of corruption erupt. What we have seen in the past 5 years of this government is when charges of corruption have erupted, they've been brushed under the carpet and a brazen face has been put forward. Details of this law will soon be out in the public domain.
BJP leader, he brushed aside a question on the uranium mining for Gerard Ramesh stand that he did not want to mine uranium. The reply was, he did not mention what is the stand of the center. He only said that the concentrate on this election and win.
But isn't that the classic BJP that when cornered on an issue, you just say this is not an issue of the election? Why is uranium mining not an issue of this election? I would like to know. They have a so-called double-engine government, and suddenly the engines start working in two different, start moving in two different directions when you're cornered on contentious issues. The problem with the BJP is that you are running a government with brute majority and brute authoritarianism, where even media channels and media houses like the BBC will not be spared. But you don't want to answer questions for which you are responsible. You are in power in the center. You are a part of the ruling alliance here in Meghalaya. You have pumped in money to poach, and now you want to say that this is not an election issue. This is as much an election issue as any other, and the BJP should be ashamed of itself for not talking about it.
But the BJP has claimed that no government will be formed without its support.
The BJP can claim that the sun rises from the BJP headquarters. Are you willing to believe that? I'm not. And so the next government of Meghalaya will be formed without the BJP, will be formed with the Congress being at the fulcrum of this alliance.
Your MLAs were poached by AITC. What guarantee you can give that the contesting and winning candidates will not be poached by other political parties?
I think the fraud, if I may use the word, and I don't use it disrespectfully, but I think those who were entitled and those who were playing both sides and those who had ideological commitment issues are gone. Those really committed to the Congress party, and some of my colleagues here have stood with us through thick and thin, are sitting here and bearing the flag and are torch bearers of the Congress here. So I don't think we'll see a similar problem. I think every election, every electoral process throws a fraud, and the fraud has gone away. And those really ideologically associated with us continue to be, and they're not going away anywhere.
Don't you think that tall leaders like Nikhil Samar leading the Congress is still a setback to the party?
You may see it as a setback. I see it as an opportunity for young, new faces to come forward. And look at the number of tickets we've given to first-timers. Look at the number of tickets we've given to professionals. Look at the number of tickets we've given to people who are ranked outsiders in the political system. We've actually thrown open our electoral politics to new people, to people who want to do something afresh, to people who are brimming with new ideas and confidence and the zeal to do something for the people. So I think every exit also makes way for young people. And I have nothing personal against the gentleman that you put in question, but what is your ideological commitment to make a 360-degree turn? I don't get it, and I think every exit makes place for new, fresh faces, fresh ideas, fresh candidates, and younger people in politics.
So their agenda now is Modi for Meghalaya. Are you also projecting Sonia for Meghalaya? Anything like that?
Modi for Meghalaya. Modi was there for the last 5 years also. What happened to Meghalaya? Meghalaya lacks on most of the human development indices a lot of the northeastern states. Why? What has the Modi government done in Meghalaya in the last 5 years of being in governance? Mr. Modi has now been in power for the last 9 years, don't forget that. What has he done for Meghalaya other than poaching candidates, other than pumping in money, other than putting agencies behind all his political opponents? So what is Modi for Meghalaya? There was also Modi for India. You know what happened to India, right? You knew what happened to India. India, from being one of the best economies in the world, has become one of the slowest economies in the world. There is rampant level of corruption in the government, with the government working and countering Mr. Adani and choosing to stay silent on all the scams. The government not uttering a word on unemployment, not a word on price rights, not a word on income inequality, not a word on rising levels of poverty, not a word on what's happening to the safety of women. They actually give political patronage to people like their own MPs who face allegations of sexually exploiting some of India's most star-studded athletes. And I'm talking about the Kushti Federation chief, the Wrestling Federation chief, Mr. Bhushan. So this government is not answerable to anybody. There was Modi for India, and I just told you what has happened to India. Do you really want Modi for Meghalaya?
The party had filed a complaint against the chairperson of the Meghalaya State Commission for Women. But we have seen subsequent to the complaint, the government has denotified the commission. What do you have to say?
The government has?
Denotified.
I will just answer it and then get my colleagues to add up something here. I'll give you a big picture answer to this. Whether it is the State Commission for Women in Meghalaya, or whether it is the National Commission for Women in New Delhi, or whether it's the NCPCR, which is the National Commission for the Protection of Child Rights, these institutions are meant to protect people. These institutions are meant to safeguard democracy. These institutions are meant to hold the governments of the day responsible. But these institutions have become cheerleaders of this government. And wherever they are, the NCPCR chief is not worried about the rising levels of malnutrition. They are not worried about rampant child trafficking. They are not worried about NCRT data year after year, pointing out that children are being sexually abused more every year than the previous year. What they are worried about is some child walking in Bharat Jodo Yatra. That's how vindictive they are. The National Commission for Women takes so much action on tweets by political opponents, but she doesn't utter a word when some of the most celebrated athletes of the country were sitting at Jantar Mantar and crying and were alleging sexual exploitation. She doesn't utter a word on Hathras. She doesn't utter a word on Ankita Thakur. She doesn't utter a word on how a BJP MLA is sexually exploited. What are we talking about? These institutions are meant to protect the people of this country. They are not meant to safeguard members of the BJP. Right? Thank you very much. Please do highlight the big difference and the big stark difference between us and the BJP, what we want to do for Meghalaya and what they have not done in the last 5 years. Thank you very much.